I really appreciate everything you've offered today so far, and I'm happier and more fulfilled and more hopeful than I've been probably about 3 or 4 years, and that's really good. I had a journey in my life where I experienced a lot of resistance in my early adult years, and I did something, even before I knew about you or received your teachings, I did something that you teach, which was I started focusing on a few of the things that were really going well, and a few things got better, and I focused on them, and there was a lot of momentum, and many really wonderful things happened for a few years in my life where, it was truly like what you teach about receiving what's in your vortex, because there were things I had forgotten about, relationships, many wonderful things came about.
It's logical that focusing on the positive aspects of your life would cause you to practice a vibration that would serve you. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But?
Then I started to focus on one or two of the things that weren't going so well.
But it's logical, because as you have things that you care about and they get better and better and better, those holdouts stick out like bigger, sorer thumbs, don't they?
Yes.
And so then you begin to question, well, if I can do that and that and that, then why not that? And the more you care about that, then the more you notice it as it is, and the more it digs in and stays like it has been. So it's the observation of what is that is preventing what is to change.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that happened for a few years until the bottom kind of fell out. And
the bottom falls out because of momentum, doesn't it? Nothing stands still. And so whatever you're giving your attention to, wanted or unwanted, will become more.
Yeah. So somewhere in that time, I discovered the teachings of Abraham, and it complemented and added to what I'd already learned about universal law. And so I've been practicing a lot of the things that you teach. And that's why I feel like there's a lot of momentum in a more of an upward trajectory.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's really good. Even from last year to this year is a big difference. So I've just got a couple questions on a few specific topics. Let's start with romantic relationships. Because during that time when things were going really well, I had actually 2 relationships that were just the best relationships I've ever had. One came, then that one ended, and another one came right after it. And then that one ended rather dramatically or traumatically or and
emphatically, productively,
yes,
helpfully, rocket launchingly.
Yes, and I'm seeing that more clearly now. And when I was in the midst of it, it was very hard to see.
Yeah.
The clarification is becoming more clear. It's becoming more obvious. Although, it's like I'm trying to decide what's my question. My question maybe is just any additional insights about that, because now it seems like where those other relationships really kind of just almost fell in my lap, just came to me very easily. It just seemed like now...
What do you think? And we're going to ask you, don't say it out loud, but just think about it relative to our friend here. But if you were asked to write a very, very short, very brief synopsis of relationships and how you feel about them, what do you think that synopsis is? There are good relationships out there, but they come and go. Or really good relationships are hard to find. Or really good relationships are hard to find, but findable, but hard to sustain.
Yeah.
So your experience has left you with an attitude or an opinion about something that your life just keeps showing you what your attitude or opinion is.
Okay.
Now, your attitude or opinion certainly is justified from your own experience. It's rational based upon what you have been experiencing and what you just explained to us, but it just doesn't happen to match what you want. So you're getting what you think about, not what you want, which means you must not be really thinking about or speaking about what you want. You must be thinking or speaking about what you've got. Sort of like Esther with her luggage.
Yeah. I think probably the thought that you're getting at is something like, it'll be really good for a while, but then it ends, or in the case of the last situation, my vibration had just sunk so much about a lot of other things that I pushed it away.
you're leading everyone right into our trap. This is the thing that we really want to talk about, because over time we've written a lot of books and a lot of processes about what you can do to clean up your vibration relative to things like luggage. Esther could just get clear about this and start writing a few positive aspects about the airlines who she appreciates so much. She does appreciate the airlines so much, but did anybody see what happened on the United flight? Of course, everyone did. Everyone did, and Esther watched it too. And so, without even knowing it, she stirred up airline hatred within herself, without even meaning to do it, just by watching something that was on television and relating to somebody being dragged off the airplane. It didn't take very much to activate an absence of appreciation of something, and so it stirred up stuff in her that had been dormant. She didn't even know it was in there. She'd cleared it up before, and then that brought it all back. And everybody that had anything to do with flying was sort of corrupted in her vibration for just a little while, you see. And so what we're getting at is every thought that you've ever thought still exists. And so you have all kinds of things that you've thought before that are not necessarily active in your vibration. It's like your tuner on your radio. Just because you've been listening to Pulse Radio on your XM channel, that's Esther's favorite, number 16. Just because you've been listening to that a lot doesn't mean that it's all, you can turn the dial and listen to other things. That radio station doesn't broadcast through 17 or 18 or 19 or 20. It only broadcasts through the precise place where she's tuning it to. And so nothing comes to you other than through whatever you've got your tuner set. And so alignment is not like a college degree where once you achieve it, it is yours forevermore. It is or isn't in the moment, depending upon what you've got going on. So it's a normal thing that when you have an experience that's more emphatic, that it would activate something in your vibration, and then you'd begin to attract more and more about it. And you know all of that. That makes perfect sense. But this is really the emphasis that we want to give to you. Some subjects are more meaningful to you, meaning some subjects, your desire has been going on longer, which is the same thing as saying on some subjects, the momentum is more. If someone called you on the telephone and said, hello, you don't know me, I'm just calling to tell you I will never call you again. You'd say, alrighty then, goodbye. And that would be about the extent of it. You might comment how odd it was, but you wouldn't lose any sleep over it. But if someone you really care about calls you on the telephone and says, I'm never going to call you again, then that is a different thing. And the emotion that you have about it has to do with not the longevity of your desire, but the momentum of your desire. And momentum and longevity are not the same thing, because you can get strong momentum going quickly through focus, but you usually don't. Most of you hear this. We're in a place we've never been before with you. Most of you do not get your momentum going other than through longevity. So you've just wanted it and you've wanted it over a long period of time. So there's a lot of desire about it, but there's contradictory thought about it too. Here's that point that we were promising that we would make. When something is really wanted by you, it means, in most cases, because of this longevity factor, it means you've been thinking about it a long time too. And most things that you've been thinking about a long time, because we love you so much, you're sloppy in your thinking. You think about what you want and its absence, and you think about what you want and its absence, and you think about what you want and its absence. So you've got this mix of vibrations about this subject that is more resistant than you even know that it is. And so sometimes something happens that causes you to focus in a way that makes it go more the way you want it. But sometimes you focus in a way that makes it go more the way you don't want it. Does this make sense to you? So what you're wanting to do is to get some momentum going so that you can shift your pattern of vibration, which is the same thing as saying shift your pattern of belief about it, in a shorter period of time. And you do that through focus. However, if you're with us, and we know you mostly are, you're doing really good here, because we are into some new territory that's really going to serve you well in this business of this science of deliberate creation. So you're doing all right so far? So as you have this now more poignant, pointed desire than ever before because of what's just happened, you've also got contradictory vibration. I want this, but this went this way and I liked it, but then this went this way and I didn't like it. So on a subject like this, on a subject that is strong desire, on a subject that you've thought about a lot for a long time, you're not going to think your way out of it in all likelihood, because you've got trained thoughts going this way and this way. It's like you plunk an engine on your train that's going that way, that is your desire, and then you plunk an engine on your train that's going that way, which is your belief. And the more your belief hinders your desire, then the stronger your desire gets. And then the stronger your desire gets, then the more and so you hold yourself in these sort of patterns where you're not really moving toward what you want. So the remedy, because you can't think your way out of it, let's be fair, you could, but it is unlikely that you will, because life keeps coming at you. And because you don't have any period of time that you can sit or the capacity to focus upon that singular thing with pure enough thought. In other words, it's not likely that it's going to happen that way. So now think about law of attraction and couple your understanding of law of attraction with the concept of momentum. And think about how law of attraction and momentum are the same thing. And then think about the momentum of a desire and then an opposing momentum of belief. And think about the strain and the struggle and the not going anywhere factor of all of that. Now, think about meditating. So when you meditate, you've got this desire that is active that your inner being is all wrapped up in. And you've got these beliefs that are active that are just what you're wrapped up in. These are just your habits of thought. This is just your pattern of thinking about it. So there's the pattern of thinking that your inner being has about what you want. And there's a pattern of thinking that you've got, and all of it is active. Desire and belief. Sometimes your belief is in the direction of your desire. Those things unfold really fast, but sometimes not. As you meditate, you quiet your mind. And as you quiet your mind, you stop thought. And as you stop thought, all momentum subsides. And as all momentum subsides, then what happens is there's this powerful law of attraction based momentum that is allowed by you, because as you quiet your mind, you don't quiet the mind of your inner being. You just quiet your mind. You quiet your mind, which means meditation is the tool, it is the process that causes your resistance to lower. So now there you are. Now your mind's not active because you've quieted your mind. But now, in the absence of resistance, because there is still momentum about your desire, this desire can begin to gather some momentum. More and more and more and more and more. So if you meditate every day for 15 or 20 minutes, and it takes you maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes to really get into that quieted place, still you have the advantage of being in a place where those impulses can begin to flow into your mind. In other words, you will be the receiver of a pure thought that is absence of resistance. And when you are the receiver of a pure thought that is absence of resistance, law of attraction will cause that thought to gather more momentum and more momentum and more momentum, so much so that your belief about whatever this subject is will become more a vibrational match to what your inner being knows about that. Does that make sense to you? And through this process, you can shift your point of attraction on everything that is important to you. Now, a new subject comes to you, something comes to you that you haven't thought that much about, and you give it your attention, and because there's no resistance that you've practiced, it flows into your experience and it's a fast manifestation. And you might say, well, I didn't care that much about it. But it isn't that you didn't care that much about it, it's that you didn't think negative. That's Esther's, someone's texting Esther and she didn't silence her phone, it's behind the curtain. It's the airline.